Today we're going to talk in detail about the first process of photosynthesis. So like we explained before, photosynthesis is the process of taking light energy and turning it into sugar. But it's a little bit more complicated than just that. So let's take a look at some of the molecules involved in photosynthesis. A chemical equation showing the process of photosynthesis is below. Like in all chemical equations, anything that you see before the arrow is called the reactants. These are the starting ingredients that you need in order to get the reaction going. Anything after the arrow is what we call the products. This is what is produced or created from the reaction. In this case, we also see something else added. If you take a look above the arrow, you'll see that light is placed there. Now, sometimes people put light before the arrow to show that light is a reactant of photosynthesis, and sometimes people put light above the arrow to say that this reaction has to take place in the presence of light. So just know that light is necessary for photosynthesis, and you can either place it before the arrow as a reactant or on top of the arrow. Carbon dioxide and water are the two reactants in photosynthesis, in addition to light. Carbon dioxide is written as CO2. This means that carbon dioxide contains one carbon atom and two oxygen atoms. In addition, we have 6 molecules of CO2, or 6 groupings of CO2. There's also water, whose chemical formula is H2O. This says that you have 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen in each group. And we have 6 of these molecules, or 6 of these groups. Coming out of photosynthesis, we have glucose, a type of sugar. The chemical formula for glucose is C6H12O6, which means there are 6 carbons for every 12 hydrogens for every 6 oxygens. Now, glucose is a kind of sugar. Like most sugars, it ends in OSE. In addition, we mentioned before that sugars have twice as many hydrogens as they do carbon and oxygen. In addition to producing glucose, a sugar or a carbohydrate, photosynthesis also produces oxygen. Oxygen gas is made up of 2 atoms of oxygen bound together to form a molecule. And there are 6 of these molecules. So when you're writing the reaction for photosynthesis, just stop and think about what goes into a plant. First of all, there's light. All plants need light. In order to take care of a plant, we also need to water the plant. So we're going to add some water, H2O. Water goes into photosynthesis as well. And the last thing is carbon dioxide. We produce carbon dioxide and breathe it out, and that goes into a plant during photosynthesis. Plants use the water, carbon dioxide, and light to create sugars, like glucose. As long as you remember it has 6 carbons, like all sugars, it has twice the amount of hydrogens and the same amount of oxygens. So C6H12O6 is our formula for glucose, a type of sugar. And in addition, plants produce oxygen for us, and O2 is oxygen gas. After you've written out these basic ingredients and the products for photosynthesis, now we can balance this reaction. You're going to put a 6 in front of everything except glucose. Glucose already has enough 6s. Now this chemical reaction describes the overall process of photosynthesis, what goes in and what comes out of it. But photosynthesis is actually broken up into two parts.